Of course. So let's start with the obvious. They call them wisdom teeth, not molars, not third molars, wisdom teeth. And they erupt between 17 and 25, which is exactly the window when the human brain is completing the prefrontal development. So this is when you're coming into the identity that's been forming, and it's when the individual is crossing from adolescence into the capacity for full adulthood. Now, the body named the timing because the body always knows. Again, they didn't call them grinding teeth or backup molars. They called them wisdom teeth. And then the modern world made it a routine to remove them before they even finished coming in. The excuse was crowding, but maybe the wisdom teeth just needed to grow into the environment. I don't know, but let's talk about what teeth actually are before we go any further. Because if you understand what you're walking around with in your mouth, then the conversation changes completely. Teeth are the hardest organs in the human body. They are mineralized structures with a unique microstructure that is composed of orderly arranged hydroxyapatite crystals and collagen fibers. Now, the key there is crystals that are ordered and arranged. That's what teeth are. Teeth function is natural piezoelectric sensors, and they convert routine like mechanical stresses such as like chewing food and biting forces into localized electrical signals. Now, piezoelectric means the pressure turns into electricity. Every time you bite down, your teeth generate an electrical signal because they are transducers. They are converting mechanical force into bioelectrical current that moves through your jaw, which moves through your skull, through your nervous system. Now, we vibrate. Bones do also. Your teeth are not just for chewing, they are signal generators embedded in your face. Now, ironically, for this conversation, I do not like my teeth. So I have a blueprinted version that will go into the veneers that I created, which I will get implanted. And they are specifically designed around this function first. Well, the function, that's the main thing. Because even still in implants, the logic still holds true. Rattle the bones with electrical current. So they are designed in a very specific way, and intention matters. But yeah, I had to get over that insecurity, but that's why I'm getting the new teeth. So yeah, I don't give a fuck what anybody actually thinks. And I can't tell you how freeing it is to be in that same place where you don't let any type of insecurity get to you. But let's get back on track. Piezoelectricity has been observed in both the enamel and the dentin. The dentin is a yellowish, calcified portion of the inner tooth that is living and contains cells called odontoblasts. And that's what holds the structure and maintenance throughout the life. I sold dental equipment for a little while, so I learned a lot about the teeth in that process. And by the way, like, calcified doesn't always mean bad. Yellowing is telling as well if you're looking through an alchemical lens wrapped in the citrinatus stage and what that whole environment is doing, then you can distill specific types of energy, but that's a whole signal in itself, not for this one. But the piezoelectric effect exists in hydroxyapatite of dentin and a little bit lesser in the enamel itself. The crystal structure of your teeth is non-centrosymmetric, which means it has inherent polarity, a directionality, which again, form follows function, and all the little details where the devil exists matter because when we don't take them into account before making decisions by functional design, we lose our way. So we can see that teeth are set up to do more than chew. The crystal is oriented in a specific way, so the pressure creates voltage in a specific direction. That is not random biology, homie. Nothing is. It's literally precision engineering inside your own body, and most people have never even been told anything about the real mechanics of anatomy. Beliefs and ideas got in the way, so now we change that, and science and spirit unify because that's the law. Now, here's where it connects to something deeper. Teeth are bone, and that is debated by some, but we aren't relying on the ones who just started pulling our teeth randomly only anyway to consider what we are talking about. You own nothing on this body except, or nothing on this earth except your own body. You get to choose how to learn about it. Anyway, but you gotta choose smart, like, right? You gotta know what you're doing. Anyway, every other bone that you have is wrapped in muscle fascia tissue, and it is insulated, protected, and it resides within the interior. But your teeth break the surface like rebels with a cause. They are the only place in your entire skeletal system that is in direct contact with the external environment. So think about what that means from a field perspective. Your bone is piezoelectric pressure on and it generates electrical charge, and that is how bones remodel themselves. That's how it heals. It's how it knows where to grow and where to recede. The existence of piezoelectricity was discovered in 1957, but obviously it was just design, and that was just a discovery, and people confuse sometimes that it wasn't new. When science finally gets around and gets the proof, that doesn't mean it wasn't understood before. It means the nerds in white coats who need to see it with their own eyes first finally did, so they can label it and miss the bigger picture. Now, I too am a nerd. Science, that wasn't an insult, but science has been slow in a lot of areas. The ancients knew about teeth because the answers are within, always. But science can't get over that whole I must see it first thing. So we need new minds in science who are tapped in, because that's the new breed. Like, nerds with microscopes and a soul, baby. Like, that's the right formula. And no explanation on how we know what we know, because that's the wrong question at all times. The proper question at all times is, how do I access my information? That is the right question, and implies that you will need to do something. Asking another how they know a thing implies you don't want to